Hello and welcome back to Nathan's Garage. It has been a little bit of a break for this old girl, and for those of you who have subscribed since I've started doing a few of the new projects like the Volvo, the Mercedes and the XR4, this is Fat Betty, a 53 F250 on a 2000 Mercury Mountaineer chassis. We made a ton of progress with her last year, and then the road got a little bumpy and progress stopped. She got put outside for 6 months, and about 2 weeks ago I brought her back inside to dry out from the effects of the rabid Californian winter. But here we are in a place where we can get some work done again. First up is going to be the gauges, where we're going to try and retrofit the new Mercury Mountaineer gauge bezel behind the old F250 fascia to make it look cool as only Betty can. A couple of new sponsors have jumped on the channel as well. Have a new OBD2 scanner to show you guys that has a lot more features than the last one, and a lubrication company as well with oils and grease and silicone and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to go into that in later videos. Right now it's all about Betty, and let's get up close and personal with what we're going to be doing today. Historically, my garage has not been the most organised and neat place in the world, but over the past few days, you can see a surface. And that's a development. For my garage, that is a development. I clean those surfaces every 4 years, whether it needs it or not. So, look, all my tools organised, that's a big one for me. So that is the new scanner that I'm going to show you guys more about. It's really, really good. And then these are the oils that this company has sent me, which I'll put links up at some point. Yeah, those are the oils. It's all pretty good stuff. And then, just out the way. Always wear protective foot gear. It's very important. And if you can't, always make sure that your grinding and your welding sparks land directly on the actual nail, your toenail, because it hurts more. So, what do we have here? These are obviously Mercury Mountaineer gauges. Oh, and purists, I suppose I should have warned you already, but you should have looked away already, because this is the original F250 setup. Obviously that was inside the glass, and this is the last remnants of all the old stuff that I pulled out. So what we're going to be doing is this bezel, took the cover off because obviously that's not flat and that is. So that is there. Now the first problem we come across is, well, the actual mounting of this bezel itself is these 4 screws, which go through that hole there, and 4 others just like it. Now, I don't want to cut the dash. I do not want to cut the dash so it's as big as that. So I thought to myself, which of these dials do I actually need to see? Because I've got to put this, basically I have that window to look through, so what do I want to see? Now, oil, I don't know whether that's pressure or temperature, and battery output, I can actually do without. I don't need it. So what I'm thinking is, I'm going to somehow do that. And see if we can make that work in the original hole, and see if we can make that go behind the right hand part of the actual F250 dash. So yay, wish me luck. It's definitely going to take some poking and jigging, but I have had worse results from my first attempts at things than that. I mean, we've got tabs down there, we can take those off, and stuffs, but you know what, that may work. Okay, so we have chopped off, that was like that, so we chopped that off. So now we have that. Now I don't know how deep we're going to go with it. I'd like to not go any deeper because, as you can see, you've got those welds there that hold the mount on. So I'd like to not go any deeper, but then that hopefully is going to sit kind of like that. And obviously we're going to make some filler pieces, you know, here around the back in black, and then the glass kind of sitting on top like that, so you know you'll actually see that when you look through, and that will be behind the metal part. So right now what we're going to do next is this piece I cut out to put the steering in, which still needs clearancing, but I'm going to need that in so I can work with the real window I'm going to have to work with for the actual gauges. I'm going to lift this up. This fouls it, you see. So I'm going to figure that out next, clearance it, and then weld it back in, and then that little bit will be done. Clearancing that definitely took a lot longer than I expected. So here we have, and oh, light, don't move. That's going to go in there, kind of like that. It's going to go in there kind of like that. Took a lot longer than I thought to clearance, but it's done now. I'll drop the column down and tack it in. Right. Oh, as you can hear, plane, as always. So we've clearanced that lower piece there and welded it in, and it was tissue paper thin, so it's not very pretty, but it's in. So now we have the proper bezel hole complete, and we can now start messing about with this situation and trying to get it in there. Filming of the speedo I was about to do, but wife-tastic just left for a hair appointment just in the normal pace of the day and peeled out. That's my wife. Peeled out. Normal day. Not showing off, not in a rush. Still peeled out. She's a keeper. Right. So that's going to be the general position of the surround. Now I found this is kind of like, it's about as thick as plumber's tape. But that's metal, this is metal, so I'm going to throw a couple of tacks on all these four. And then I'm going to look behind and make sure the self-tapper that I put through here isn't going to mess about with the circuit board or either of these two dials. This is fine because it's far enough out and these dials don't come out far enough for a screw in there to bother it. But I think that should be enough because this was literally weighs nothing. And then you've got the four screws that hold this into the dash. Okay. We are at the final prototyping stage. That is basically what you're going to see, and when we're in the seating position, although that's a bit far down, we're going to be angled down looking at it, so you'll be able to see the fuel gauge. And then it's just like, these both metals have coatings on them, so they both reacted when welding, which was pretty horrendous. That's that. And then I just pulled these covers to find out where the plastic, you know, the main parts of the plastic body webbing behind here was, to find where to screw into. So yeah, let's see if she fits. Here we go. That turned out pretty good, I think. Methinks. So that's kind of like head height, so you can see everything. Yeah, I'm on all the dials I need. So that is only in right now. Don't have any wiring on it. That's dangling down here. But now I want to start to attack. I'm going to whip the seat out. I want to attack where to put this. It's going to be up here somewhere, and then we need to mount that somewhere, and the headlight switch. And I think we're going to do away with the dimmer for dashboard. Don't know. We'll see. See how creative I feel like getting. That is where we are up to. So as you saw before, bezel is in. Surround is all welded back in. All needs cleaning up and painting, obviously. Steering wheel, obviously that's been in for a while. That's all good. Got the bezel dimmer switch mounted up. Got to clean up the brackets for that. And then tomorrow we're gonna mount that close to it. Headlight switch, and that'll be done. Tidied up some of the wiring underneath here, mounted the fuse box. Let's see if we can get any light underneath there. 2 seconds. There you go. Mounted the fuse box under there, which was awesome, and then ran this main body harness behind the e-brake up through this cavity here, which kind of holds it nicely. So that's good. Found a switch, found a loose wire, I think for the overdrive. That wasn't connected, and I haven't had overdrive so far with this vehicle. So that was that, found that, connected that up. Then next fairly decent sized job is getting the Mountaineer seat belts in that area. Obviously I'm going to do a rubber flap over that hole for the wiring to go through. Then we'll have seat belts, and then I'm going to start attacking the interior with the center console, seats, all that kind of stuff, and then we've got wipers to deal with as well. Happy days. That's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.